Nothing will change you if you don't change yourself. And this is something that I've been learning the hard way. There's always all these people talking about how things like travel and all the new experiences that it brought them and all the new perspectives that it has showed them absolutely changed their life and they just feel like a completely different person. And don't get me wrong, leaving everything you associate with your old life behind and leaving your fucking parents' house is quite freeing, but what if you don't know what to actually do with all of that freedom? Or perhaps you do know, but you just don't know how to put it into practice. Moving abroad has not changed me. So I don't know exactly how many people out there will relate to this, and I don't know if they will ever see this video, and to be honest, that's okay. I'm just making this video because I wanted to finding a way to force myself to touch grass. The only thing I know is that I cannot be the only one that has been left disillusioned by themselves and their own inability to finally fulfill the promises that they've made to themselves, telling themselves like, okay, when I make this big life change or this big life decision, everything's gonna be great. I'm gonna feel great. I'm gonna become a completely different person, and then it just doesn't happen, right? I'm not the only one, right? To myself, you don't have to look at me like that. No, I'm not, because recently I stumbled upon this account called Gap Year Circle or something like that, and it was basically just a bunch of sad people talking about their sad gap years, and honestly, the comments are pretty funny. It's not because I find it absurd, it's because I find it absurd and unfortunately also do relate. I look at former classmates that simply stayed in the Netherlands, where I'm from, and just started university there without taking a gap year. And when they ask me how I've been over here and how my gap year's been going, I just kind of want to leave them on red. They seem to be honestly having a better time than me, or at least they seem to be more capable of enjoying what they've got and what, like, their freshman university life has to offer, whereas like I know there are plenty of wonderful things around me right now, plenty of awesome things I could be doing. Occasionally I do, but if there is something inside of you that is just wrong, that is not feeling well, then any outside thing is not going to just magically like make you a happy person. And this has been a hard pill to swallow for me. Neither the country, nor the room, nor the freedom, nor the sea of time is going to be able to fill the emptiness inside. If that emptiness is so pervasive that it's hard for anything else to really cut through it, no matter what it is that you've got going outside of you. Don't get me wrong, like I am grateful, for the opportunities that I've gotten, for the two friends that I've managed to make here in the past 5 months that I've been here, both of them off of Hinge, obviously, everybody's favorite platform. Um, and as people tell me, like for example, my mom says like, you took a step, and that's not nothing, like, and I feel like people can kind of have that thought of like, okay, well, you took the leap. At least you took the leap. Like, yeah, and I'm glad I did not just, you know, stay rotting in my mom's house, doing nothing with my life, never at all getting out of my comfort zone. I've been getting out of my comfort zone to some extent, and I do believe that I am growing to some extent. Like, I don't think just because you did not grow to the extent that you had hoped for, or perhaps could have, that does not mean that you did not grow at all. Only focusing on the parts where you didn't make progress instead of the parts where you did make progress. That's just going to discourage, um, especially because it's not true. It's not as if just because you did not make all the progress to be made in the world ever, that you did not make any progress at all. Okay. But that's the thing, I still kind of grieve the time that I've had here so far. Even though I took that initial leap, I feel like I could have taken some more steps beyond that, and again, it's not as if I did not at all, but I don't think I did so enough compared to what honestly I very realistically could have. I'm And I'm not talking about any super crazy shit. I'm talking about, just managing like completely like super basic habits like sleeping, just push myself a little bit more, not drown in my thoughts, or to, quit social media, those kind of things. I was really, really hyped to leave leave my old life behind, not because it was bad, but just because I just knew it was keeping me stuck and I knew I needed something else. And then I was expecting that after I would take that step, I would suddenly be like, you know, the most disciplined, happiest, most social, most productive guy in the world, whereas that's not how it works. And I know that you're not going to magically change overnight, but still, I feel like over the course of months, I could have seen some more progress than I have. And I don't know, that just makes me feel a bit like, why? Like if even this did not manage to motivate me and give me that push to finally fucking do what I've been meaning to do for years, which is just fix my fucking life, work on my mental health, finally feel better. Um, why have I still not been able to do it? You know, because that's the thing. Whatever issue you have, wherever you go, it will follow you. You cannot just leave it behind. It will follow you, even into a girl's bed, if you do not address it. It will follow you until you solve it at the root. And that is not gonna happen just based on what language the product labels are at the supermarket. It's not just about, oh, nothing outside of me can change me if I don't change myself. It's like these outside things do actually have a capacity to change me, but I need to allow it. If you do actually lean into the opportunities you get, actually try to be, present and grateful in the moment with the things that you have, with your new life situation, then actually those things can help change you. But it's still me who has to do it. Nothing else is going to do it for me. That's the thing. Like, if you're not careful, the external changes will simply turn into another backdrop against which I can complacently and passively perform the same pathetic habits that I always have. There's this guy called Erich Fromm. And he wrote a book called Escape from Freedom, and I have not read it. I'm just admitting it, and this is a very performative segment of the video that I'm doing right now. But I intend to read it someday. Perhaps I might. I don't know. I got like 200 bucks on my list. Um, that I also have not read. And I brought a bunch of books, by the way. I brought a bunch of books against all my mom's advice. She was like, "Don't make your suitcase so fucking heavy." Well, I did, and I have not read most of them. They're just sitting there on my fucking printer. But anyway, supposedly, according to Goodreads, the book says that if humanity cannot live with the dangers and responsibilities inherent in freedom, it will probably turn to authoritarianism. And yeah, that might just be my issue in a sense that the excess of freedom has, in a sense, led me to retreat back into the kind of like confines of my own mind and the kind of like authoritarianism of my own old patterns and habits. Like, freedom is overwhelming, and it's hard to actually navigate that and all the opportunities you've got and all the expectations you might have for yourself. At times it just feels a little sad to look back at the days that I feel like I could have made so much more of, and I feel like there's this constant countdown in my head of how much time do I have left in a certain period of my life. This poster by Elliot Ulm consists of 100 tiny posters. And I struggle to even believe that it actually consists of 100 tiny posters. Trying to visualize a specific time frame, for example, 3 months, which is about 90 days, which is pretty much what this poster displays. That really is not a lot at all when you look at it that way, all laid out in front of you visually. And to think of, you know, how much time I've got left, for example, this summer, kind of freaks me out, but perhaps I should just use this as an opportunity to see the glass as half full instead of half empty. Perhaps instead also see that glass more as a bucket. Because in Dutch there's a saying that translates to the drop that made the bucket overflow, which basically means the same as the straw that broke the camel's back. Reframing things that way, in a sense, could kind of perhaps help to make peace with the idea of wasted time. Because what if all those days in which you feel like you could have done so many things and should have done so many things differently are really all just drops into this bucket? Drops of tedium, drops of fed upness, drops of increasing urgency accumulating until one day you just don't have any other choice but to finally fucking change. And maybe I should have actually just gone to like see a psychologist or something a while back. Why the fuck do they make it so damn impossible, and why the fuck is it so damn impossible for me to just change some simple things by myself? Please go see a psychologist if you can, guys. It's gonna save you a lot of time.